Hello and welcome to Thriftmas, where I'm going to 24 different thrift stores, no repeats, and I have to pull the maximum amount of value out of each thrift store. The last thrift store you guys saw me visit was the Village Thrift in Newport News, and it was kind of a bust. So I am a glutton for punishment and decided to check out their sister store in Hampton, Virginia, and let's see if I had any better luck.
Okay, so I'm actually trying to find carts and or baskets and not having any luck. But I did find some golf clubs and a bunch of fluorescent lighting and ceiling fans. Where am I? This is not what I was expecting when I came in here. There's a bunch of light fixtures, some sinks. I feel like I'm at the Restore. Did I go in the wrong shopping center? I don't know. Again, I'm guessing this is great if you're a contractor and need some stuff. We got transition strips. Now I feel like I'm in Lowe's. Oh, books. I would like those. Look, they're using grease pencil at this one. That's awesome. So I can actually take these marks off, which is great. I cannot believe these aren't marked up. Again, we got a double vanity sink and some cast iron bathtubs. This is weird. This isn't like the other one, so I'm a little confused. Oh, apparently why did they put the books and the contractors together? That's fun. This is Tommy Hilfiger, and they want $10 for this. And this is the men's jeans, by the way. Now, a pair of 511s. They wanted like $10 for even jeans you would get at JCPenney's, which is Arizona. This is a pair of silver tabs. That little loopy is broken. It's also like cut in some places. So I picked those up, surprisingly, because I think I can fix it. I am shocked to find anything Helly Hansen ever here. The driving shoes do not resell like their coats do, but it was still really cool to find Helly Hansen. This is an outdoor brand, by the way, at the thrift store. Look, we got a craft section, and they have decided instead of putting magazines and books here to put decorative plates. Thought that was cute. It was a very creative way to display the plates in a hopefully safer manner. This is what I could get for the Pyrex bowls on eBay, so I can only hope for them that they get that. And then we have random 2 Franciscan Desert Rose here. All right, I turned around and now we are at the women's pants, jeans, whatever, and I really do appreciate the way that they hang the pants. It makes it so much easier to check for brands. And I think I just found my first pair of Spanx, and they only want $5 for this? Absolutely putting this in my basket. This is awesome. I'm just double checking to make sure there aren't any holes, because, I mean, for $5, there had to have been something wrong, right? Here's an Ariat piece. I've only found Ariat, this is my second time now, and it was also a tech top, so I'm going to put that in my basket. And I started laughing seeing this. This is the logo for Jeffree Star, his beauty brand, and I put those in my basket because they only wanted $6 for them. I'm guessing they just thought they were knockoff like Adidas pants or something. I don't know. But here is my little basket. It took me quite a while to find, and I'm just kicking it with my foot because I can't be bothered. And it's, I think, concrete or carpet, I don't know. But I'm just gonna go through the tops real quick, see if I can find anything else. It's a Sag Harbor piece. They wanted a little bit too much for it. You know, animal print does okay. I have a tendency not to pick it up. I think I've only sold the one skirt, which is animal print. It's just not something I'm drawn to. Delia's, that was a nostalgia moment for me because I was definitely one of those girls that wanted everything in the Delia's catalog but could never afford any of it. But man, did I circle everything I wanted in that little catalog. Just going through, not really seeing anything. A lot of your basic, like Forever 21 and Shein and Gap and Loft. A lot of Massimo at Anna, more Loft. random t-shirt. This is H&M. Knox Rose, that's like CC or something. Ship and Shore, now this is actually a really decent vintage brand. This is like, I think this is like the 90s before they stopped really making this. I decided to leave that behind because I actually have a pale yellow cardigan that hasn't sold yet. So I'm not gonna add another pale yellow cardigan. But Ship and Shore, if you can find the vintage disco shirts from the 70s, pick those up. Look at this, it's so pretty. And it didn't have any like stains and no pulls, so that went with me.
All right, y'all, I am back and it was actually better, but also this thrift store was like twice the size of the one in Newport News. So I have twice the chance of finding more stuff. Also, this thrift store is like, I guess the original store. So a lot of their books were still grease pencil, which I talked about in the other video. If you didn't see it, I will link it up above. But they have decided to switch from grease pencil, which they said marked off too easily, and switch to Sharpie, like literal Sharpie, not water soluble marker, not clothing marker, literal Sharpie. So I didn't buy any books when I went to the previous one, but I did find a couple of books for this one. And the first one I'm going to show you, I am exceptionally tempted to keep. I'm not gonna lie. I am very into the Victorian and Edwardian era as far as dress goes. I have several pair of American Duchess reproduction shoes, or reproduction shoes, however you want to say it. I found a 1970s reprint of the 1900 Sears Roebuck catalog. This thing is amazing. So I saw this for $1. It has literally everything. Like, it has kids' clothes, it has men's clothes, and the nice little Edwardian dress. It has instruments, it has guns, it has pots and pans, it has corsets. This thing is an actual time capsule into, well, technically this is the Victorian era. So if you do not know, the Victorian era ended technically in the year 1900 because that is when Queen Victoria died. And then the Edwardian era begins in 1901 because that is when King Edward came into power. So this is pretty much what people wore the last year of the Victorian era, early Edwardian era. And there are other reproductions of the 1909, which is true Edwardian era, but I got the 1900 ones, and I was so surprised that they did not mark this up because you guys saw the prices. But I picked this up for $1. Depending on the condition, it is selling between $5 and $10. Again, very tempted to keep this, but I am letting it go to a new home, and I'm just going to enjoy it until then. It's such a cool piece. It's such a cool piece of history. I mean, they have feathers and hat styles. Again, this is like, would be a great, especially if you sell a lot of antique and vintage clothing, this is a great piece just to have those keywords for certain styles and types of dress that you're looking for. Again, very tempted to keep this because this is just such a cool snapshot into history. The next piece is, this is a sci-fi tour book from Nancy Kress. This is Crossfire. I am going to let this go, but I'm going to let this go on Whatnot, not eBay. So I'm actually like stockpiling a set of books for Whatnot show. I actually do much better with vintage sci-fi and fantasy books over on Whatnot than I do on eBay. So this is going to go into that pile. I am going to resell this, so I don't need to put another thing aside for this. I am going to sell this. I'm not going to keep this, but I'm going to sell this on Whatnot because I will get a better return on that. So I'm going to set this aside for that. And then I have to thank Jenna. Jenna, if you're watching this, I am so serious in that I want to give you a hug. So I have mentioned, and again in the last video, some thrift stores like to mark their barcodes out and put the price on in Sharpie, and that's very hard to get out. And Jenna was kind enough to give me this tip, which I will put up here. You guys can pause to read. And the reason why this is important is one, because I want to share it with y'all because it's a really good tip. And two, it's because I actually picked up that Ariat jacket or hoodie that you guys saw in the video. And when I got home, I realized that the pockets said delaminated. They were not sewn on pockets. They were actually like fused pockets, and both the pockets were halfway coming off after I washed the garment. So I was like, oh, I can't fix that. I can't sew that back on because it's not sewn on. They are fused on pockets, and I don't know how to do that. So I have to, because I made an oopsie, sell something else. And I'd originally decided to keep this book for myself because I thought that it was Sharpied to the point where I could not fix it. But because Jenna had given me this information, I was able to get all of the Sharpie off of this barcode. And I would state that this is something to be on the lookout for, especially if you like to resell books. The Children of Blood and Bone by this lovely author, Adiyema. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm not, I'm so sorry. But The Children of Blood and Bone is an exceptionally popular YA series. And they did a limited release with the 5 different clans in this world. So I found this book at the bins. This is the lighter book. There are 4 other books in this limited edition Barnes & Noble run. Reaper, Seer, Connector, and also Burner, in addition to Lighter. And these are the different clans in this Children and Bone series. I thought about keeping this for myself because I honestly didn't think I could get that Sharpie out, but as you can see, it's perfect. It's like brand new condition. Now, to note, if you do find these books in the series, which I will hopefully put a picture here of what the entire series looks like. They're each a different color. They each have different artwork. They also each have a poster in the back that tears out. So you will have to note, if you do find this book and it doesn't have this poster in it, you can tell it, you see how it's like an extra centimeter up. If it doesn't have this tearaway poster in it, you do need to note that. I've seen the set of 5 of these books selling between $75 and $150. I only have this one, so I've put it up for this, but I can list it now thanks to Jenna, and also to make up for the fact that I messed up by not checking the Ariat piece. I was so excited to find Ariat in my area because I think I've only found it one time, and it was, again, clothing. It wasn't even like shoes or boots or anything. So I got excited and didn't do my due diligence. I just checked for stains and holes. It didn't have any stains and holes, but it also was about ready to completely lose its pockets and just have 2 giant gaping wounds in the garment. So that's getting redonated because I don't know how to fix that, but somebody else might. So there's that. So Jenna, thank you again for sharing that tip. It was a lifesaver for multiple reasons. So now I'm going to share with you clothes that I did pick up that were not trashed. Well, it's kind of still trashed. So this is a pair of Silver Tab men's jeans. I pick up Silver Tab Levi's whenever I find them. You guys saw I saw these and they had denoted that the belt loop was separated, and you can see that the belt loop is not separated anymore because that's something I can fix. I just whip stitched it back down. It is like re-sewn in there. I just put heavily distressed in the title because in addition to that, the side seams are cut. I'm guessing somebody gained a little bit of weight and they wanted some extra room, so they decided to like split the side seams. I put that in the listing. They've also split the seam here as well, I guess for boots. So I've denoted all of that. They're heavily distressed. They're the baggy loose fit Levi's. This is on trend right now. It's in the light wash, which is also on trend. So I've just put these up. They're a 38, 32, but they're actually a 31. So I put that in the listing, but I will pick up Levi's Silver Tab whenever I find them. Again, super stoked to find something at this thrift store. I legitimately laughed out loud when I saw this in the thrift store. Also, it was in the women's section. Because 2016, 2017 Bob would have literally gagged if she saw this in the thrift store. This is Jeffree Star. Jeffree Star is was a beauty influencer. Jeffree Star, super big in the MySpace era, did a lot of trashy techno dance music in the MySpace era, super big in the MySpace era. In 2016, 2017, his like makeup line blew up. Lipstick is what I'm wearing only because of the fact that I spent way too much money in 2016 and 2017 on his makeup, and I'm just like going through it because, again, I spent money on it. I'm not going to throw it away. I'm going to use it up. That's what I wear on my lips pretty much in every video. Not an endorsement of the individual, because I no longer support them because of some stuff, you know, that has come out later. But I will buy their stuff secondhand because there are people that will buy this. So this is Jeffree Star. This is what his makeup brand logo is. He lives in Montana now and has a yak farm. You know what? Whatever. As long as they're happy, who cares? But I pick these up mostly for nostalgia reasons and also because of the fact that this stuff is super rare to come on the resale market and someone is going to want this. I hope. Anyway. Also, again, stressed to find something. I was shocked. This is the first time I have found Spanx ever in the over 3 years of reselling, like consistent reselling I've done, to find Spanx. And I found Spanx at this thrift store specifically. This is by Sarah Blakely, and this is supposed to be a dress pant, and it is a wide leg flowy dress pant and a size large with like the shapewear built into the pants. It's like, it's different. So the shapewear goes about to the knee and it's like supposed to suck you in, and then this line is like wide leg and flowy. It's quite the garment, I will say. It is impressive to be both sucking in and flowy and loose at the same time. Impressed. So I picked these up mostly because I'd never found Spanx before, and then when I got home and looked up the comps, I was like, ooh, I did well, thank you. So I picked these up. So surprised they did not mark these up. I'm not surprised about the Silver Tab because you saw how they marked up the Levi's, but because that one had a flaw, they marked it at a reasonable rate. Jeffree Star, unless you were like super into the internet or especially YouTube in, you know, the mid 2010s, you weren't gonna know who that was. And then Spanx, I'm guessing they just thought it was underwear, so they just didn't mark it up. I don't understand that, but I'm grateful. The other piece that I picked up that I was so surprised they didn't mark up is the piece that I'm wearing right now. This is a vintage Ivy cardigan. So it's a oh, I'm sorry, Moxie, I didn't realize you were behind me. It is a full long leg cardigan. I'm gonna get up a little bit. So I'm 5'9", and you can see it kind of barely covers my butt, but no puns intended. If you're like 5'4" or shorter, you could totally wear this as a sweater dress. This is like a beautiful long line vintage cardigan, very boho, very Southwest pattern, absolutely gorgeous. Super long sleeves, so the fact that I can wear this and put this like over halfway through my hands, this thing is amazing. And it's in like the best earth tones ever, and there's no stains, there's no holes. It's awesome. So this is a size small, but again, depending on how tall you are, you could totally wear this as a sweater dress. So warm, so comfy. I am wearing a shirt underneath of this, but so cute. I picked this up because of course I did, and the fact they didn't mark this up either, I was so surprised. But it's so cute. And I picked this up. This will go in my rotating reseller closet until somebody decides that they also think it's amazing and pick it up for themselves. So this is amazing. Let me show you the other clothes before my camera shuts off. I also found this vintage piece. This is also from the 90s. This is Structure. If you do not know, Structure was bought out by Express and then just became Express Men and just is now Express for Men. But this is from the 90s. This is beautiful green floral. It is from the 90s, so it is a loose baggy fit. So I definitely put loose baggy fit in the title because otherwise people are like, this is too big because it's a small. This would fit a modern large because it's a loose baggy fit from the 90s. But I tried to put that in there. Hopefully someone will get it. But yeah, I saw this. It's green, it's beautiful, it's floral. Love it. Other is Cloth and Stone. This is 100% Tencel. So remember how I talked to you guys about buying and selling that dress from Victoria? This is the high-low version of that. So it's a high-low shirt. It's a roll tab. So whenever I take a picture of a roll tab shirt, I have one regular sleeve and one roll tab sleeve to show that it is a roll tab shirt. High-low. High in the front, low in the back. Tencel shirt in a size small. I picked that up because I was just like, yes, please. Cloth and Stone used to be sold at Anthropologie. It is no longer sold at Anthropologie, but you know, people use those keywords. We'll let that happen. This is Kitty Hawk. I've talked to you guys multiple times about how with vintage, the brand doesn't necessarily matter. One of the vintage brands I look out for is the Silver Tab by Levi's. This is another vintage brand I look out for, especially in the sweaters. They're the Kitty Hawk vintage sweaters. Please, if they're in great condition, pick up. This is just like a 90s piece. It is not a sweater. It is a cropped, like, grunge club hook and loop closure piece. It's got dolman sleeves. This is just like very, I'm going to the club, very city, very urban, very goth. Like, I put as many keywords as I could in the title, but I saw this and was like, I have to pick this up. This thing is so freaking cool. Very on trend for right now. So I picked this up and hopefully someone else will pick it up from me. But I paid a total of, I think, $53 for this haul, which is quite a bit, but I did actually pick up more in this thrift store than I did in the last one. So if you're going to go to a Village thrift, go to the one in Hampton because it's a bigger store, you have more options, you might find something, but to be honest, while I believe in their mission to support the feral cat community that they do, it's hard to find something to resell at their stores. So hope you guys enjoyed this, and thank you guys for understanding about literally everything, and I will hopefully see you guys tomorrow. Until then, bye. Bye.